Check test.
I hear you.
Check test.
I hear something else too. Hi, Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm Grace.
And we are California Travel Videos. I think. Happy New Year.
I hope so. How you guys doing? I hope that you join us today. We've got some fun things in store.
Indeed we do. Are you hitting an echo?
Maybe it's on my office computer.
Oh, okay. That might be. So anyway, we've got computers up the... You know what I'm talking about. So I'm hoping you're having a good new year, and we've got a great show planned for you. We're going to do a 1-hour show, and I think we need to kind of cut off at 3 o'clock California time, that is, 6 for you on the right coast, so that we can let Ray go ahead. We're going to have to crash his show at 3 p.m., 6 p.m. East Coast time. And that is Van Life Rocks. Great guy.
Yeah, he's going to be at the Valley of Fire, so we want to make sure to support him.
Man, I wish we could be with him, honey.
I've been telling you that's one of the campgrounds I really want to explore and enjoy in Nevada.
In fact, our RV is being mended. Not really mended. Well, a little bit.
Updated.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
Updated or just maintenance, routine maintenance.
Yeah, you'd have to have maintenance done on these. And so, you write a check, you stimulate the economy, and all of a sudden you're, whatever that check was, a stimulus check, we stimulated the economy. So I hope you're having a good time stimulating your economy this year, and we're off to have a good show today. So shall we begin?
Yes, we shall. We got some fun updates as well with our RV to share with you. And Michael has a question for everyone out there.
A couple inquiring minds must know. But first, we're going to start off with reservations. Grace, do you like to go out to dinner and have reservations?
At a popular restaurant, definitely.
That's right. Or some people say, they ask you have a reservation. Yes, I do have reservations, but I'll eat here anyway. So at any rate, reservations. So this year, 2021, have you made any reservations? I guess I'm kind of curious.
Oh, I have a lot of reservations.
Papa Drew. Hey.
Hi, Papa.
Happy day, Papa. And I know he's down there in the big Q21. Thank you for your video there, Papa. And you look like you've got some great weather down there. How is it down there today? I'd be kind of curious to know. And
he says it is a mix of afternoon and evening.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And Arizona is an hour ahead of us, aren't they? So it's
yes,
3.
It is. I think they also go through the daylight savings. I got to tell a sidebar story. We were a couple of years ago going down to the Big Q, and we were by Lake Havasu, actually a little bit before that, I guess it was, but where we spent a night at a state campground, and it's right on the border. And these wonderful mobile devices, sometimes they tell you the truth. Sometimes they don't get it right.
I know what story this is.
Yeah, this is like the GPS. It says, well, I think you're on the California side. So when it was time to go in the morning, everyone was ready to go. And I'm thinking, well, hey, we got another hour. And they said, no, it's 9 o'clock. We're going now. And I said, well, no, it's only 8 o'clock. And
that was a rush.
So, yeah, when you go by the time on these, you better hope your GPS has got it. Because on one side of the Colorado River, it's California. And the other side, Arizona or Nevada.
Yeah, our phone kept changing time. So we did not know. I think Chicago must have written their song. Does anybody really know what time it is? They must have been on the Colorado River.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so he's he went and softened the beaches, I guess. Some people like to talk about it being the beach there. He says he's going to head back to Q, Quartzsite, on the 15th. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's about when the activity starts. So he was just kind of getting things ready there. Nice job on showing the way to get out there on La Posa South.
Yeah, definitely gave a good roadmap. We've got some California news here to... I guess if we're going to start the show.
Yeah, go ahead, Grace.
One of the things is of recent changes, as you probably are aware as well, Papa, that it's just been announced in California to please not travel more than 120 miles. And
yeah, what's up with that?
Michael and I had a long discussion on where that 120-mile number comes from. Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that later, but we try not to talk about the C word too much to bum people out, right?
Right. Not too much on that.
So you want to show some videos, Grace? I think you got some videos to show. We got some a couple of videos that are almost in the can. One on solar panels and
Mhm.
associated subsystems. And
I-
I've been working on the roof,
Yeah.
up on the rooftop. Ho, ho, ho.
I think we should save that one toward maybe the last
Okay.
20 minutes or
All
so
right.
to go into the solar and the RV and the
You want to
updates.
do the Washington Capitol Mall thing.
Well, I want to talk about it for a minute.
Okay, let's talk
So
about it.
on our last video from our series 90 Days Around the USA, we were in Washington, D.C. We had taken the subway and Uber. And so we have been diligently working on the new one. We had a lot of footage, and as we started to prepare and started to tell a story, we did a lot of research. And, you know, some of this was probably learned early on in school. But for me, there were so many fun things about the National Mall and little bits and pieces of our history. Like, as an example, I was never aware that the library had been burned and that Thomas Jefferson had donated, or not donated, but sold his books in his library. Thus how it got its name. You know, so all these little trivial things that I never knew, and it was so much fun exploring them, and we were so excited to share with you. So we've got a little film clip, and again, this was already planned, so let me go ahead and pull that up here.
When they say stop, they mean stop. Here we are in Washington, D.C., and we are at the Library of Congress. And Grace, what do you think about this?
So far, from what I've seen, it's a beautiful building, beautiful architect. We're excited today to come into a city finally at last.
Well, and before going to the state capitol, let's look across the street, and here we are. Justice is served, we hope. And as we walk around from the side here, we can see why it's called Capitol Hill. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's true. The swamp has been drained. And here we are at the National Museum of American Indians, and this is to show a symbology of the sun. Well, okay, we're going to do it. The Industry and Space Museum. Mercury Friendship 7. Houston, we have a solution. John Glenn showed the United States could compete with the Soviet Union in the Cold War race. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial.
Okay, well, that is a preview of our show, and we still are hoping to get that out here within the next couple of days.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, when you're making plans, life happens. And when we were there in pre-COVID days last year, it was cool. We had a great time of year. The weather was nice. And we did a previous video, which was already shared with you all, which is how to get there, doing the Uber and the mass transit with the subways. And what happens this year? We don't want to talk about politics. We want to have fun. But man, is the politics happening in the Capitol Mall. So, you know, you reflect back a year ago, and like you saw there, the Capitol, it is on a hill, not a big hill, but it's on a hill.
Yeah, we're in California, so
some of us are over the hill. Anyway, we had a great time up there, and we look forward to sharing that. And maybe a little bit later, if we have time, we'll show you a little bit about what we did with our solar panels. Finally catching up with the cool kids.
Definitely. I'm excited to share that part of the show with you.
So next up, Grace, do you want to talk about going to the Appalachian Mountains?
Okay, that is a really cool thing that happened recently. And let me go ahead here and give you just a little tiny taste here, about 17 seconds worth. Alrighty, so that is the new and the latest national park. What does that give us now, Michael? 63?
I think we're up to 63. We haven't done 62, but no, currently 63.
Yeah, that's
with this one now, the one that came in like December 27th, but who's counting?
And we had gotten, I mean, we did do Shenandoah. That'll be coming up on our 90 days around the USA.
That was a phenomenal place. We have stories to tell about that.
Yes, we do. We definitely have some Shenandoah stories. But and we were in Virginia. We did a really awesome Rails to Trails ride there. It was spectacular and beautiful. We did not make it this time into Virginia, but I really, really, really have this place on my bucket list, and they have an extremely incredible waterfall, as you saw. The name of that waterfall, let me pull that up real quick. Sandstone Falls. And I'm a big fan of waterfalls. Mm-hmm. Michael, yes, you got a map there?
I do, but I see that because it's green and I've got a green screen going, it's not going to be as green as you want. It kind of looks like California behind it, but it's okay. It sort of works, but yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to zoom on in. So anyway, you can see we are on the right coast over there, and West Virginia is where we're talking about. So if I click on New River Gorge, there it is. So, okay, where are we at? I'm going to pull back a little bit, and you can see that this is the New River here that's going through it. The river does run through it. And we're kind of near Fayetteville, if you know where that place is. And I see White Sulphur Springs. And so I'm kind of zooming out here, and you can kind of get a little flavor for where we're at in West Virginia. So, you know, maybe it's, I don't know, about 150 miles west. You don't want to go east of Richmond, Virginia. So
yeah, and it looks incredibly beautiful. So, you know, as photographers, and landscape being one of my particular passions, I really, really can see us out there. In fact, the scenic view, I want to show you that for just a second. Scenic view. I'll have to remember this by heart. New, what's the name of the new park?
New River Gorge.
River Gorge. Okay. We'll get used to that, just like we have Yosemite and everything else. But I am going to do a shared screen. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been here.
Yeah, we had to retrain ourselves, don't we?
Right.
After that?
However, I was laughing because, you know, these are some of the views, and it's just spectacular. Oh, come on. Really? I didn't want to do that. I can't pull it up bigger, but anyway.
Yeah, just double click on the title.
That brings up the website, though.
I meant elsewhere besides on that. Anyway,
what I wanted to show, though, is if I can find the picture, and I might not be able to because I wasn't really planning on doing this, but I guess, here it is. People get up early to go get a sunrise picture. And I found this one, and I just laughed so hard. Do you see what I see?
I see lots of things, yes, okay. But top of it, I definitely recognize the cloud formation.
In the fog, okay,
yes.
So or the smog or whatever. But this is the norm from that viewpoint. You see, like the Horseshoe Bend.
Horseshoe Bend, yeah, exactly.
And then you get this one where they got up early in the morning to catch the sunrise shots.
Oh yeah.
And bam, all this fog was there. So Michael and I definitely know what that experience is like when you wake up early and. It's kind of disappointing.
Wait a second. Define disappointing. Why or what? What's
because you woke up early to get the spectacular view of sunrise, and your best plans kind of get a little messed up there.
There is that. To me, it's kind of anxiety because, you know, you have to have your shutter wide open. You have to be on a tripod. You don't want to be touching it. You need a variable neutral density filter if you really get into this stuff so that, you know, you can get enough of the foreground which is not very much light on it until the sun comes up. And if it's sun's in your face, you don't want the sun behind you. Do it right before sunrise as that's happening. There's a lot of stuff happening. So
right, and not to mention the fact, those gloves that we featured on gifts under $20. Michael did get me a pair for Christmas. I hope you got everything.
Merry Christmas
on your holiday, and I did really want them, and they're really cool, and they've got this little light built into the hands, and that's one of the things that you can really use on one of those cold mornings when you're up at before dawn, because the darkest, coldest hour is just before dawn, and so you need that light so you can get your camera settings right before the sun rises, and then the sun rises, and bam, you just got all this fog.
How true. Yeah, in fact, a spot like that. And why don't you let me go ahead and go over to my screen here.
Okay, let me go ahead and remove myself.
And let's see if I go to this screen and make myself small down here. There we go. And so you want to give me the full screen, the full enchilada?
I can give you the full enchilada, but you're backwards.
Oh, well, whatever. I guess I could fix that, but I'm not going to twiddle too much. Anyway, you can see the picture there, and it looks like it's got some frost there, beautiful. And
or
you can
snow.
See or snow on it, yeah, for sure. They got a video there. I'm actually on their NPS site there, and so rafting is a huge deal there. I guess it's one of the top rafting places in the world, and if you want to go on the Safe and Sane, which is what I do, there's certain places I'll take my risk on my life, but, I'm going to go on a 1 to 3 level. I'm not going to be on the 4 to 5s that maybe, today it's a 6. The water's really running. So anyway, I'm not going to want to get impaled on a rock there. But they have a lot of, look at some of the views there.
How about
Can you
rock
imagine
climbing?
taking our e-bike on that, honey?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a really long, and that's something else. There is a old railroad track that goes through there, and I couldn't help but wonder if they're going to have a rails to trails. That would be incredible. Yeah,
the Chesapeake and the Ohio, I think the C&O, I think they call it, railroads go through there. And there's a interesting sidebar story. There is a ghost town that a Captain Thurman, who was in the Confederate Army. Then after the war was over, he kind of had a spot there where it was mining and lumber that happened. He used to do a lot of coal mining around those parts. Up until the 30s, when the Depression came, things weren't quite so good. And so, at any rate, back in the days where it was thriving, he said 1900 when he started, no alcohol, this is dry. Poor moonshiners, they didn't stand a chance there in this area. But there was a red light district of all things that was in that area that was probably thriving, brought in the tourists. So go figure. I don't quite understand that one. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of stories that unfold. And the part that's intriguing as well is it's actually 65,000 acres, 53 miles long. So this isn't a park that you're just going to go take a couple hours. You need to actually make some reservations. They do have campgrounds. If you like to rock climb, they have, on rock climb, I think it's 1,400 different rocks that you can climb. Absolutely. Yeah, they got a lot of different players to go rock climbing. I mean, some of them might be where you need ropes and others maybe not so much. So some of them are the more safe and sane for our dog, Siberian Husky, Kaliki, and I. Right. Yeah, I've seen you guys do that a couple times. But this reminds me, in my Rotary Club here in Petaluma, California, we have a song, up in the Pacific Northwest, up towards Oregon. There is an area there where a lot of lumberjacks used to be. And you want to come full screen again? Yeah. Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to go back to the screen here. And it's about the lumberjacks. It used to be up until about the 20s, in fact, that the company kind of controlled everything. And then people wanted to get independent, and the lumber industry wanted to break the strikes and, didn't want to go unionize. So a lot more independence. Anyway, so there's a song that goes like this. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a green lumber handler. I'm a chippo from Pelican Bay. So raise up your glasses and have one for me. I'm a fellow you seldom do see. And you think, well, is that a Rotary song? It's not like a drinking song. But it was part of our culture from some of our early Rotarians. And so it turned out is that they were not able to always have a gainful living, even though, there were some good years, boom and bust. And so I guess a lot of them moved down to San Francisco, Sonoma County, Grace.
They definitely did. Yeah, so that takes us from Virginia. And let's go ahead and go to the other states with the escapees.
Escapees. So, yeah, there's some, they have things every month in different areas, the Escapees group, a great travel group. If you like to travel with others when we're not in the middle of the C word, the COVID things going on. But like so many other groups, is they've had to kind of curtail some of their activities until, I guess, coming next summer. Grace is coming up. Let's see. Do you have it in front of you? I'm trying to hear it.
Yeah, I do. I can pull that up.
It's in July, as I recall. And is it in Colorado? Let's see. I got it somewhere here. You caught me off guard there, darling.
For the July 18th to
you.
the 23rd is the Escapees Escapade, where there will be seminars, social gathering, nightly entertainment, and that will be in Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Rock Springs, Wyoming. But of course.
But in the interim, they're going to be going from state to state, having little shindigs.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a calendar on that, and then
That's something else, darling. You're jumping ahead a little bit.
Is that? Oh.
Hold on to that thought. So on the escapees, in regarding Wyoming, we've been watching, I don't know if you binge watch shows, but we are watching Longmire is one of them. I've been asked for years for some of our friends, you got to watch Longmire. And yeah, we did get into it. And so that's a Wyoming scenery also. So we haven't really spent much time in there as we've gone up to West Yellowstone, have we, Grace?
Right. We spent the time that we were going through Yellowstone, but we almost dipped back down into it when we came out from Montana. I think we were going to go in Wyoming. We came out on the Montana side, and then I think we were only about 30 or 40 miles from the border.
We were right next to it, yeah.
Cody. I think we were going to go to Cody,
yeah.
but we did not. We went through Montana, and then we went into South Dakota.
Correct. So, when you do the maps on your car and you got like all the stickers you put on for the places you've been, kind of like notches on your gun belt, I guess, isn't it? And so we've got, I think, about, how many did you say? About 30 some states that we've done?
I think it was 36.
36 it is. We're not going to get Alaska and Hawaii we hope to do Alaska someday in our RV, not Hawaii. But we've missed some of a couple of the southern states and a couple in the middle, but we're kind of got a pretty good start. We did a great job getting it filled up last year, didn't we?
We did.
It was
fantastic.
How about this year? We going to do some this year, darling? Pacific Northwest?
I don't know. It's within 120 miles.
That's going to loosen up. Come on. And I looked on the map, where they have the different colors where, if you're in a purple county, this I'm talking about the John Hopkins website. Not good. It's where if you take a look at the number of cases per 100,000, not good, maybe 2 or 3 times others. But I think that hopefully keep fingers crossed that we're going to be able to go up to see Oregon and Washington. And what about in Idaho, Grace? Will you go see Idaho with me again?
I really want to ride the Rails to Trails bike ride there. Mm-hmm. We bought a book from Rails to Trails, and it has all the best trails in the Northwest, including Oregon and Washington and Idaho. And some of them are just spectacular. I can't wait to experience those.
Yeah. So we are card-carrying members, as they say in the business. So, they got some great pictures, and some of them, they go hundreds of miles. They're trying to get one to go all the way across from East Coast to West that will join one another. And we just find it's, nothing better than being safe and sane. We don't have to worry about a lot of cars in some of the beautiful places, but also the cars are contending for those roads, and we don't like to contend with those big 5,000 to 10,000 pound vehicles.
Exactly. So do you want to take a minute and talk about, while we're getting our RV ready, and some of the things that we're doing to prepare to, we realize that we're probably going to have to be doing social distancing for a while. So some of the regular campgrounds may not be our best experience. So Michael has been preparing for that and done quite a bit to get us ready. And you want to go ahead and share with them some of the solar? You want me to put that on?
Okay, before we do that, I'll just go ahead and say a couple things. Is that, we did the days of Christmas and some of the different gadgets that we've been having to, some of them are just tools to go with the trade, like sniffers, as your RV getting cold spots, and having a thermal heat or cold detector would be one. And then also, if you're going to be drilling a lot of holes in the roof of your RV, you don't want to hit any wires. So having a cable detector, a sniffer, which you put a tone on the circuit and see if, it's a good place to drill or not. So some of those types of things. And then, if we're going to be in boondocking territory, it's nice that you have some LED lights. They get solar during the day. They're just smaller lights, but man, some of them put out quite a bit of light. And so if, they detect movement, then the light comes on. You're like, okay, what's going on? Is it a friendly grizzly bear that wants a meal? Or, is it somebody out there that's looking at our e-bikes, which we do keep locked up? But so those types of things are good. And then if you don't have access to electricity, it's true. We can run our Onan 3.5 kilowatt generator. We have in one of our bays a 2K Honda generator. And then we can run our engine in the RV, which has a 200 amp alternator, and that goes to an inverter. So we can go more than 1,000 watts just running our engine. But wait, then there's the solar we just got, Grace. So yeah, you got a video for us?
I do. Let me go ahead and put that up here for us.
Okay, so we're at about 90 degrees, laying flat down on the ground. We can see we've got a little less than 2 amps. And about 45 degrees. And I guess that's going to be about maximum right there for right now. So why is it not 5 amps like we had before? Well, there's a little bit of shade out there now. So what I've been trying to do is put some of my 180 pounds on it and make a little bend. Yeah, here you can see the angle. So you can see is that it's got a substantial curve to it. Nice and flush on this side. And now it's nice and flush on the other side. So I'm going to squirt some down the bottom, drill the screw in, put some more on the top of it, wrench, wash, rather, and repeat. Okay, it is time to fish or cut bait, and we're taking the solar panels and putting them up on the roof and putting them on the unistruts, and let's see where we're at. The lip here on the unistrut, you can see how that's got a lip to it over there, and it grabs a hold of it, and it's not going to go anywhere. So the tilt panels I've got there, so this one's will be the ones I'll loosen, and this will go up this way, so I'll want the sun over to this side or the sun over to here, because these other 2 panels are facing the other orientation. Okay, well, day is done, and so am I. So the solar panels are in, they're wired up, and let's take a look at them. So there's the 2 that are going parallel with the direction of travel for the RV. They're coming over here to the combiner box to join up with the other 2. Okay, let's take a look at how this all comes together in the combiner box here. So we have the 2 main cables that are going downstairs, one to the negative terminal blocks, one to the positive side of the terminal blocks. There's a red, it's going across, it's going to here, got some extra cable, and look at this. What's this other thing? Well, I've got a fuse there. It's a 30 amp fuse, just in case there's lightning or something happens. We want it to blow the fuse, not catch a fire. And so, okay, EcoFlow Delta, let's see what you've given us right now. I think it was about 27% or something like that from the factory. It's up to 33. It's been on for about, 20, 30 minutes.
Alrighty.
Are we back?
That is quite the preview, and you have done a wonderful job. I'm so proud of you. You are so good at doing your research. So I am very lucky, and if I have to pay for half that installation.
Oh, you do, Grace. You do pay.
I pay every day.
That's right. So yeah, that was a lot of steps to it. And, like any project you get in and you see the tip of the iceberg, but, it's so great when we can watch these YouTubes and learn from other people. And like when I saw somebody that used these unistruts, it's like, hey, now how about that? So rather than the accessories that come with the Renogy panels or the ones that we have, this looked like it had a lot of advantages. More time, more cost, of course, but the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and so far so good. So yeah, we are looking forward to capitalize on that when we do our boondocking and getting some free electricity.
Yes, I look forward to it as well.
Free.
Yeah, well, we want to be able to start doing some dry runs and seeing, as an example, when we have a full battery, what happens if I, use 20 minutes on the Instapot, things like that. Do some real testing, important things, vital, life-saving.
Mm-hmm. The EcoFlow Delta 1300 has about 1,000 watts, and so they had a holiday discount, so I got a second one, so we have 2 kilowatts there. So yeah, if we can get with our 4 panels 100 watts each, that's maybe 4 hours a day, 1,600 watts maybe up to, so can almost keep it going right there. But because they charge up 80% from 0 to 80% in like about an hour, is that we could just even run our RV alternator and top it off if we needed to.
Exactly. And then we should have that full video coming out with more information in the next week or so.
Absolutely. So speaking of shorts, some of our YouTuber friends we see are doing YouTube shorts. I don't know if you do those or like those, but if you do, put some comments down below. We haven't really done that. We have, like, if it's the holiday time and we're busy with life, as they say, and also getting some of these jobs done for the RV, is that, we've considered it, but I don't know if you're watching those, but it has to be according to YouTube, who, let's face it, they are worried about TikTok. So, which have short videos, and Instagram, you can have a short video. So YouTube is like, we better do short videos, don't you think? So it has to be 59 seconds or less, but they don't, most of them get viral and get tens of thousands of views, but it's a nice way sometimes just to kind of show a little quickie or maybe even a teaser for what's coming out in your future videos, Grace. So what are your thoughts on that?
I always have wonderful, wonderful concepts of things that I would like to do, because my personality type, I'm always, there goes a squirrel. So that's usually about my attention span. It's about 1 minute. What were you saying?
Hello? What? I don't know. I forgot. What was I saying?
Anyway,
we're talking about squirrels, I think,
yes,
weren't we?
And I've even, we've gone out on our morning walks, and I've come up with a couple of ideas, and I have this little footage that I shot. And it's kind of funny for you and I, because you're supposed to hold your camera in a portraiture mode, which, Michael and I always will flip our cameras over to the landscape for video. So I guess we have to really retrain ourselves, and I need to find a video editor that doesn't automatically try to straighten that. And maybe we'll do one. Maybe we won't. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you enjoy shorts. What are your funniest topics? What do you like to watch? You want to see more Kaliki?
Yeah, that's what they want to see. Give us some dog videos or little kitties if you've got them.
Right. I can give you a lot of Kaliki. I've probably got a full phone of Kaliki.
Okay, I'm ready to go to the next section about the ultimate RV show coming this year. Are you ready for it, Grace?
If you correct your screen and don't have it backwards.
Oh, great. Okay, well, you go ahead and talk for a while. I guess I eventually will have to fix the screen here.
Okay, while you're doing that, let me...
Let's see, that's that screen.
Oh, look at that. I don't even... There, oh, that's you. That's because he led, so I can't take the full screen. The person that goes in first gets the full screen.
I see. Sorry about that.
That's okay. If you want, I can do a shared screen and pull that up.
Yeah, that's fine. You'll probably beat me to it here since I've got to do some reversing. I'm trying to figure is that XY rotation 180.
Is it the Ultimate RV Show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I got mine. Did you get yours? Okay.
Yeah, I can pull that. Add it to the stream. And I guess I could probably make it a little bigger. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so I have it up.
Okay, I guess that'll generally work fine. I'll go ahead and just talk to it.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and go to a big screen here for myself. All right, so Camping World, I guess, is the one who has this idea. There's the RV shows that happen. I don't know what's going to happen at the big tent down in Quartzsite. We've seen it before, so we don't need to do that again. In fact, we did a 360-degree video with the GoPro Fusion. Do you remember that, Grace?
I do.
Yeah. So at any rate, they are now, I guess, Camping World says we got to find a plan B. So they're going to come to about 3 or 4 states at a time. I don't know if you have the screen where it shows the different states, but I had them all compiled on the Word document.
It says the event.
Basically, it starts on January 7th to the 10th. There's 4 days, and they're covering a handful of states. Well, it starts off, I take that back. I see it's Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Michigan, New York, Virginia, New Jersey, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. But most of the time, when the states are a little further distance, bigger states, they're not going to do that. So then after that, they're going to head down to Florida and do a couple more states in the South. So they're going to, for a couple of months, they're going to be showing some of their new RVs and have some promotional discounts and things like that. So if you're interested in seeing the new toys that come out, or maybe you're an RVer and you just like to take some videos and share it with the rest of us, that's fine. So they'll be coming through Dodge, your city, or nearby it with 100 miles in the next couple months. Grace, you got something else going on there.
Okay.
I hear two.
I know, I do too. I don't know where it's coming from though.
Okay. So at any rate, that's what's going on there. And well, let's see if we've got anything else here. Grace, did you want to talk about what's going on with the Navajo Nation? Now, when we were in Washington, D.C., the Capitol Mall, they do have a wonderful American Indian exhibit. We love that. And we'll have more on that when we do that show. But as we went across the United States, we're looking at not only what's cinematic and good places to stay, such as Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but sometimes we're interested in the history. And so the Navajo Nation, I guess, in New Mexico, and I'm sure other places, water is a problem. You know the word caliche, Grace?
Caliche? It's clay.
It sounds like kind of like Kaliki, our dog.
Isn't it clay?
Caliche. It is sort of. It's like more like obsidian. In other words, if you dig down, when I was in Tucson, you go down maybe about 2 or 4 inches, all of a sudden it's like not a clay, because clay is soft. It's almost impenetrable. I said, well, I want to put in a tree, and so I'm going to have to dig through this. Not with a shovel, not with a pick, hardly. So you take like a real sharp mallet and you're poking, and just this little like glass is flying towards your face. So anyway, down there in New Mexico, they have some of that also, and it's not very easy to get through it. In fact, some places they have to go down 1,000 feet before they can get to wells. So water is a big problem. And some of these, the Indians weren't always given the best land, let's face it. And so down in New Mexico, I guess there's a project to try to give them water.
There is a project, and we are really happy to be able to share that with you. And I am going to do a shared screen here again for a minute. Let's go here. Alrighty, and let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. This project is actually being done by the Rotarians, and it is a project being done throughout North America, and it is the Navajo Nation Water Project. And this project
it's by the Four Corners, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, go ahead.
There is BML land. A lot of us do go to...
What's BML land?
Bureau of Land Management.
Okay.
So there is some camping. There's several campgrounds. I did have a website on that as well. But in the interim, what this project is going to be doing is it's going to be doing match grants where funds are being raised to get portable, I guess you could say like water tanks that are going to be dug into the ground, as well as some solar energy. So that's something to kind of keep an eye out on. I think that I'm going to include this website in the links below for anybody who has interest.
That's good.
If you hear about that coming and you are in the area, or you do some camping out, it would be fantastic to be a part of this wonderful plan. Hey, hi Nomadic. Rat Pack is here, and
howdy, Nomadic. Hope life's treating you well. What's going on this year for you?
They say, I believe water is going to be the next commodity on the planet.
I've got to say, when I was in the Middle East, I'm going back in another life 20 years ago almost. And so I would be a guest lecturer on the luxury cruise ship, the 6-star like Regent and Crystal and some of those. And yeah, as you go to the Middle East, like say Israel, and you take a look at up at the north part there where they do have a water source, and that's a big deal. That water is between them and Jordan. So yeah, in the future, water will be the gold, the way things are going. And here in Northern California, it's not been pretty with some of our rains that we've been having, where we've had dry years and the high winds. So yeah, very good point, Nomadic. That's something to consider. So, these people should start getting in semi-desert area. And for sure, this area by the Four Corners. And the Four Corners are, let's see.
New Mexico, Arizona,
Utah,
California, and Nevada. Or no, Utah and Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada. Right.
And then also in the same area, there is Bureau of Land Management camping. There is a website, discovernavajo.com just discovernavajo.com. And then from there, you can find the links for camping and fishing and hiking. But there are several camping areas. So I think that when we participate in the beautiful areas that we're able to take advantage of, where we can camp at a very low expense, then if we have that opportunity to help in projects like this along the way, it's kind of like the give back, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a wonderful opportunity. So I definitely am very proud of the Rotary for being a part of this.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that second, but I see Nomadic is saying we're staying close to home and we're looking at selling the house and haven't even put it up on the market. Oh, I tell you, we are not envious. Well, we're envious of you, but not of the days of getting it ready. It's like Grace keeps on singing the Petulia Clark variation.
Well, I changed the lyrics.
She changed the lyrics. You want to tell us what it is? Downsize.
So yeah, that's definitely a goal. Michael's actually been in this house for more than 30 years. So it's been an accumulation of time. So it's going to take us a while.
It's got some stuff.
Yeah.
But, the road to perdition is filled with good intentions. So I try to get stuff out. But then Jeff Bezos, he keeps sending stuff to my house that keep coming every day.
I agree with you. When I enter full-time RVing, I would still like to own a piece of land with a good well and good, clean, cold water. Not just a piece of land. My goal in the perfect world is to have, three honeys?
3 honeys? Can you handle me?
3 lots.
Okay, 3 lots.
Yeah, to have 3 lots, like one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and one in Quartzsite, Arizona.
Yeah, I don't know what you're drinking, but I want some of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so water.
Not Quartzsite. I'm sorry.
No, you like Lake Havasu.
Lake
There's
Havasu.
no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But not in the summertime. So anyway, yeah, speaking though of the Navajo Nation and the dry and the heat down there in the southern states, is that I've been trying to go the other way, but also for the summertime, is that to get more insulation. Now, our Class C is 24, 25 feet, depending upon who you want to ask, but a little more than that with their e-bikes when they're on the back of it. And some places in the RV are insulated better than others. So I have become the Reflectex man.
Oh, yeah.
So, we had quite a bit, over the windows, and then got some for the front windshields and things. We've got great treatment there now. But yet there's some of the areas where they just didn't have enough insulation. So I finally, in addition to whatever I had before, I bought 4-foot roll that is 50 feet long. So that's a lot of Reflectex.
Yeah. And you found a great storage spot for it too.
And I found a great storage spot too. In fact, some of the areas that were getting so much heat. So in the front of the RV, if you've seen like the Winnebago Vistas, where they have this big dome, which is nice because you can stand up in the area when you get out of your seat in the front, and you've got this area. It's nice contoured. It gets better airflow, and it looks nice too. It looks cool. But man, I tell you, that fiberglass is, I don't know, it's a 1/4 inch thick or whatever, and that's it. So yeah, we've got that area all with Reflectex, and the area behind our storage units too, which is, oftentimes the RV manufacturers don't take it. So if it's winter, we want it to keep it warm, and if there's warm, we want it to keep it cool. We're kind of like the three bears, aren't we? Mine's too hot. Mine's too cold.
Well, let's see. I would be the one where it's too cold. You would be the one where it's too hot, and you would be the one where it's just right, probably. So yeah, I think we are the three little bears or the three lone wolves, something like that.
I wanted to get to nomadic though. It says, darn voice to text first shouldn't have a buyer. So yeah, my experience is, this gets back, as Grace said, over 30 years ago, but I was a FSBO, for sale by owner, on the last house I had. And no-low press we found was very good in terms of, when you're looking to make sure you got all the T's and C's, the non-disclosures, the terms, conditions, all those things, and how to market it and all those things. So yeah, I can remember nomadic. One of the things that you can relate to too, I'm sure, is that make sure the house smells nice. So before the open house, put in some cinnamon rolls in the oven. I know it's cheating, but hey, whatever. No, but you want the house to be, all of the senses. You have a lot of lights on it, have some flowers, any of the stuff that's stuff, you just kind of put it in the corners or get it out of sight. And so, all those things do help.
Staging.
Staging.
That's what they call it nowadays.
Yes. Some people are better staged than others.
Right.
But no, it's to know, what's going on in the marketplace. Just like when we are RVing, is that, if some place is popular, you better get your reservations in early, or come up like, well, what happened to us in the Shenandoah? Grace, tell them the story.
The Shenandoah.
Yeah, we didn't have a reservation, and it was rainy, and we drove in about 30 or 40 miles. It was a weekend. Can get worse.
It was a Saturday.
It was a Saturday. Yep. No reservations at a national park. Hello, Michael and Grace. What are you thinking?
Well, and we were a little bit nervous for the simple fact the majority of time our motto was, any way the wind blows. So we didn't do a lot of reservations, but as we were driving in,
that was easy.
Yeah, we had a very
easy.
We were very fortunate the majority of the time.
We were lucky.
Mm-hmm. So we drove in with no reservations, and lo and behold, the campground, I think there's 3, but the first one we went to was completely full, and we asked if they thought there'd be anything coming up along the rest of the route. And she just kind of laughed at us.
Like, you're kidding. This is the one, if anything's open, we'd be open.
And
they're always full.
One of the park visitors said, hey, there's some people leaving because of the rain. So we went over there, and there was a person that works for the parks over there. And we said, oh, they're leaving. Can we have the spot?
Let me just interject just one thing if I could.
Their tent leaked.
Go ahead.
Because their tent leaked.
Their bad fortune was somebody else's good fortune, but go ahead, Grace.
Alrighty. So they were leaving. We asked if we could have the spot, and the park rangers all, oh, sorry, I just gave it to this gentleman who's hiking the Appalachian Trail. And so he had
what a guy.
He had his backpack, and everything he owned was in his backpack.
Pharmacist Bob, I think it was.
And he's awesome. And we'll show some more of him when we get to that video. But I just yelled out to him, hey, we'd gladly trade you a salmon dinner to share the spot with you tonight.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. We know how to negotiate. Salmon dinner? Would you like that? I imagine that backpacking, you'd really like some protein, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
In fact, they have, speaking of which, on the Navajo Nation, they carry very little water. And he showed us the application he had to know where to get water as he's going along the way.
Yeah, that's important. Okay, so let's go ahead here. And Nomadic is saying that they are researching the simple contract or a simple third party just to make it go smooth and make it go easy. Yeah, and that's always a good idea because legality-wise, you always want to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's.
Yeah. And it turns out that, then you've got this thing called the jurisdictional aspect, which is, different states, some states, Grace, they almost always use lawyers. We have a title and trust companies in California, which kind of provide a similar function, but they're not actually somebody Esquire there. Those rates might be a little better. But you have to be sure that you're doing diligence because this is normally our biggest asset that we own. So you want to do it well. And even with the title and trust company, when I sold the last house with the FSBO and the money was transferred to our bank, it went rather than to when you have a small bank, they shipped it the money to a commercial account for the bank, an insurance company. So wait a second, that's our money. And so, should have got interest for hundreds of dollars a day. And so that had to get sorted out. So things can happen, just like when you're out in your RV, is that when you're buying and selling a house, there's always going to be a new story every time that you have to contend with.
And speaking of homes, Papa Drew's got his parked and he's got it hooked up.
Hey,
Now,
good job.
Is that the house, just for some clarification, is that the one in Quartzsite?
I think not, but I'm sure he'll let us know. But I thought, I don't know if it's back in California. I thought he was liquidated that one, but he'll let us know a little bit more. But
what is a P button? Park? A P button?
I don't see where that is.
My home will soon have a P button also, Papa Drew.
I'm not going to venture with that one. It says I'll let him go ahead and explain it. But Thousand Trails.
He says no. He's going to Quartzsite on the 15th. He's talking about the one in Southern California.
Okay.
All righty. Well, as we were saying earlier, we want to make sure that we end this in time because we do want to be able to participate and give some support to Van Life Rocks.
But I just want to give, let Papa Drew, if you got some things you want to say about Quartzsite. Now, be sure if you haven't become familiar with him, you should go over to his YouTube channel and subscribe. Just search
Papa Drew.
Papa Drew.
Definitely.
And look at some of his videos on Quartzsite. He's been the champion, the leader of the pack for many years for the group that he goes. And a lot of them are YouTubers, but it doesn't have to be. And so there's going to be some circles. And I know he can tell us a little bit more about the north and the south circles in terms of if you kind of want like more social distancing, stay in the north circle. And if you are kind of okay, just being like normal boys and girls, go in the south circles, or you can go in the kind of in between if you're sort of on the fence. But he's got very well organized and a good group of people that are supporting him. So there's going to be a phenomenal time there. The weather's always great, except for the 1 year we had about, 6 years ago, Grace? No, maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, we had some rain.
We had some rain 1 year for only a couple of days, but then it was clean. And I tell you, one thing after rain in the desert, the desert bloom is phenomenal.
Want to give a shout out here to Hitched Up in Tow. Welcome. Nice to have you.
Hey, good to have you here with us. Hoping life is well for you, Hitched Up.
Definitely. And I've got
they do some towing. Yes. Yeah.
And I've got Papa's channel here pulled up.
I'm going to try to, can I get my fingers the way they do it? They're Hitched Up and Tow.
I know. One of the things on our list, we need a logo.
We do. Yeah. You've got a great logo there. And if you haven't seen their teardrop, it's cool. I mean,
definitely.
They've got some great places that they've been. So be sure to check out their channel also. And they got some wonderful energy and they're just really loving people. I hope we get to see you sometime soon down the road. All of you.
Hitch Up and Tow. That is, I'm going to show you their logo.
I want to say TJ, but I know I don't quite have it right.
Whoops.
What her initials are.
Let me see here. What did I do wrong?
And while we're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about Ray, who's coming up there. In another 7 or 8 minutes, we're going to go crash their party. Hope you all will come on over. But his van life does rock. He's really a nice guy. And he and Gina, they have been doing some good things together. And Paula, tell us a little bit about that, Grace.
I was looking for a website.
Oh, okay. Sorry. But
he likes to do that to me.
I do. And we kind of go back and forth just to see if we can keep each other on your toes. Dance, partner. Dance.
Yeah, I want to show this logo.
Oh, okay. You got it up? Yes. Yeah. There it is.
So I had to get my Hitch Up and Tow all one word.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all one word, Hitch Up and Tow. So make sure to check them out as well.
Right.
All right. So you were saying now with Gina.
Yeah, with Gina up there in Oregon. I don't know if she's going to be able to get down and scoot on down, but then we've got our Paul up there in Canada. And so in her and Ray have done some great shows. Doing some of the folks are doing more interviews, which is really cool. We haven't gotten into the interview thing that much yet, but we kind of have a variety show, so you know how that goes.
Papa Drew says, or Nomadic says, that Ray is always fun to hang out with.
It's hard to believe, he's got this one little Coleman stove. I mean, a single burner. And everything in his van has been really well thought out over the years. It is functional. So I was really impressed when he did his solar, because most people on a van, you just, get the single membrane and just stick it to the top, but then it doesn't last that long because it gets hot in the summertime. But he had a spacer so that it is not actually touching his roof. And so, all the way things, you feel you can learn some things. And I don't know if we want to talk about his specialties, but after you eat, humans and all animals, they have other things to do. And he likes to share, this is just a function that van people have to do. And he's not, he's not afraid to say it. He just gets out and talks about how it is to do things in a van. So that's good. I like his lighting and things like that, though. He's got great lighting.
Definitely. And Ray says, I did an interview with Carl and his schoolie came out good. I think he is a nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be fun. Well, it's about that time. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Is there anything else you have?
I just see that I'm looking at my iWatch. It's coming in. It's, I guess the RV is ready. They just got through with the repair. So I'm going to go give my credit card and once again, stimulate the economy. I think that's about it. But we look forward to seeing you down the road. I guess we're going to try to continue these Friday shows and look for our upcoming videos on solar panels. We got a lot of details in there and some things you don't want to do, which everybody always likes to learn from that. Fail. And the Washington Mall, I hope you're going to enjoy our video there because we've got some behind the scene things that I think you'll love to know. So I think that's about it, Grace, unless you got anything else.
That's all for today. We definitely look forward to seeing you and watching your videos as well. If you enjoyed this, make sure there's your call saying your RV is ready.
The RV
is ready.
So anyway, happy trails to you.
Trails.
Until we meet again.
Bye-bye.
Peace out. Bye for now. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Bye-bye.